Hello. Welcome to Inside Scoop. I'm Paula Rizzo. And are you wearing slippers right now? Are those your slippers? Are those your pajama pants? Yeah. Working from home is awesome, but what you wear actually does matter. It matters for your productivity. And we're going to dive into that today. We're going to talk to a professional personal stylist who's going to give us some tips and tricks on what to wear when working from home so that you are more efficient and you're getting things done, even though maybe, you feel like being in your yoga pants. I totally get it. I'm actually wearing slippers right now, so I'm calling myself out for this. But I would love to hear from you throughout the show. So please leave your comments and your questions below. If you have any questions or, you have ideas for the show, you want me to do something different, let me know. I also have a little freebie for you to be, as productive as you possibly can. So if you go to paularizzo.com/lists, which I will put up for you in a second, right there, paularizzo.com/lists. You can check out my list making starter kit. And this helps you to be more productive and efficient and get some stuff done. So I'd love for you to check it out. I also have a whole bunch of new courses, which I'm really, really excited about with LinkedIn Learning that will help you to, again, be more efficient. I have a brand new one about list making and notes, how you can make better notes to make sure that you actually do the things that you want to do. And you could go to paularizzo.com/LinkedIn, which is where all of my LinkedIn Learning courses live. And I have one too on remote office setup. So if you're working from home and it's not working for you, check out that course as well, because I've gotten lots of great feedback that it's really helpful. And I am thrilled, speaking of helpful, to introduce you to someone who has been helpful to me in learning what to wear, what not to wear. And her name is Cass Sethi, and she is a fabulous friend of mine. Thank you for being here and for giving us some stuff on what we should be wearing. So why is it so important to dress for productivity when you're working from home?
Yes, it is. Well, first of all, how many people are wearing sweatpants, slippers? Paula, raise your hand for slippers.
I am.
Well, we are going almost into a year of pandemic and working from home. And I'm sure many of you have realized that you can use your style to feel productive, to feel motivated, and to feel focused throughout this time. And not only now, but also post-pandemic too.
Right, exactly. Well, that's the thing. It's like, I think in the beginning, people were thinking, oh, this will just be a short time. This is, it's not going to be that long. And, you know what? Here we are, still working from home,
Yes.
Not being as productive as possible. And you know this from yourself. When you started working for yourself, you sort of had a dip in productivity when you weren't fully dressed up for the occasion.
Yes, absolutely. So I remember, I used to work in corporate land and then started my own business. And in corporate land, we were business casual for the most part. So when I transitioned into owning my own business, oh my gosh, I took advantage of it. I was wearing workout clothes, PJs, you name it. And I totally did see my productivity go like this. And also just my confidence throughout the day and meeting with clients. So that's when the light bulb went off for me. And I was like, it's time to dress up and put effort into how I present myself.
Yeah, for sure. And Melissa Jones agrees. At first she was like, oh gosh, do I need to be wearing clothes? But she says, I'm actually dressed, but I'm still wearing slippers. There's a bunch of, companies now that I've seen marketing these slippers and shoes that are sort of like indoorsy type things that, right? I mean, this has been like a huge innovation moment in the fashion world.
Yeah, absolutely. There have been so many new products to come out on the market, as I'm sure all of you are seeing with Instagram ads and Facebook ads and all that good stuff. Loungewear is super popular right now. So elastic pants that have elastic around the waist versus like a traditional zip and button is really popular. So there's a lot of really good cozy stuff out there.
Yeah, I like it. But that's the thing too. It's like, you don't want to feel like you're going to sleep. You don't want to be too comfortable. Although like I haven't really worn jeans, I have to say, in a pretty long time because it's not comfortable,
Yeah, it totally is not. It's funny. A friend of mine was like, I put on my jeans once a week just to see what's going on with my
Make
body and if it
sure.
still fits.
Yeah, I love that. That's such a good idea, actually. Just a little check-in, just in
Yes.
case,
Yes.
just to be sure, right? So why don't we talk a little bit about curating this closet for work from home? Because, there was this whole New York Times article about the Zoom shirt. And a lot of people were just having like the one or two shirts ready to go so that they could throw it on if they had a video call or video meeting. But you have some actual real, tips and tricks that people can go through to curate this closet. So why don't you give us a couple of tips there?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So first of all, it does not have to be complicated at all. Okay.
Love that.
So my first tip is you want to stock up on basics. So what are basics? Basics are those items that you can throw on and go and not have to think about it. And they're also items you keep in your closet year around. So basic examples would be a great fitting t-shirt, a great fitting blouse, maybe it's a great fitting cardigan. So definitely want to stock up on all those pieces. So that's the first tip. The second tip is get some good colored shirts. So I have been investing in shirts that actually have a collar on them with a button down. So like a long sleeve button down style.
Okay.
They automatically make you look so put together, more professional, but also in a way that feels friendly and approachable, not too stuffy, because we know that no one's wearing a suit at home,
No,
right?
it's so true. I was just talking to a friend the other day who's doing an interview. Like interviews are different, like for a job interview. But he said, like, I feel so weird putting on a jacket, and like stiff, and like that's not me anymore.
Yeah, exactly. So the collared shirt it's kind of like a step down in formality, but it still looks put together and professional. And also you won't feel out of place on the Zoom, like you're trying too hard.
Yeah,
Okay.
I love
So
that.
that's tip number 2. And then tip number 3 is to have fun with your accessories.
Oh,
So a lot of my clients that I work with are busy executives or entrepreneurs, and they're still doing a lot of Zoom calls and meetings. And this is one of the questions I get asked most often, like, how can I make my look pop a bit? And I always go to accessories. So you want to play with, maybe it's a statement earring. I love my gold hoops. I wear these all the time. Or maybe it's a necklace. Maybe it's fun nail polish. So you could do a bright nail polish color, lipstick. So allow yourself to have fun, be creative, express your personality through your accessories.
Yeah, well, and now a big accessory is your background too.
Yes.
It's not just, your face anymore.
Yes.
There's actually an entire Twitter feed dedicated to rating people's rooms. It's called Room Rater, and I follow it all the time. So anyone who's, on TV, they're constantly rating their backgrounds, and it's actually a really great place to get ideas too, to see what could you put behind you. I do a lot of corporate trainings and trainings with media training clients and things. And it's one of the first things we do. We look at what's the background look like. And I'm always telling people to have things that are living behind you. If you could put a plant back there, it looks nice. If you have some depth behind you, it's not always possible, but the more space you have, it just looks nicer in the background. So what do you think about that? And are there any best practices for people?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think your Zoom background is the new accessory for 2020 and 2021.
Ooh.
So yes, it totally is. And so I recommend really being not only intentional with what you wear and, how you present yourself, but also your background. It's just as important as what you are wearing. So for my brand, for example, my brand, Next Level Wardrobe, is very clean, minimalist. And so I designed my background like that. So I think it's good just to keep, your brand, your personal brand in mind as you get dressed and also as you design your Zoom background too.
Right. It's part of your brand now. This is how people are going to know you. They're going to remember, oh yeah, you're the one who has the whatever in the background.
Yeah.
We have a question from Adam, who is asking about baseball hats to cover up COVID hair, or should he just let it go wild? Look, I I'm not a fan of the baseball caps on video calls, but I actually media trained an entire group of cryptocurrency experts, and they all wanted to wear those hats the entire time they were on. And I said, but I can't see your faces. And they were like, well, that's kind of the point. We like to kind of hide it, kind of hide in the background. So what do you say to those types of people who, might not be ready to be shown and to be seen in that way?
Yeah, I agree with you on this one, Paula. I do not recommend wearing hats or especially baseball caps because they typically go low on your face on a Zoom call. I think when it comes to your hair and if you should let it go wild, there are actually so many great YouTube videos on like how to cut your hair or how to have someone cut your hair. A little mousse or gel can go a long way too. So definitely recommend checking those out versus wearing a baseball cap.
Good idea. I like that. A little product in your hair will go a long way. I like that. Let's talk a little bit about the actual things that you're getting, right? Like what are the new items that you need to now bring into your house? I've tried to be much more minimalistic, in current times, in the current years, but also I just don't want as much stuff. And I want the things that I have to really, earn their place in my closet. And it's a little hard when you're constantly looking through Instagram or Facebook or whatever, and you're getting all these ads about all these great things that I should be wearing when I'm at home and all of that. So what is your advice on the actual things that we should be putting into our closet? And let's talk about brands. Let's talk about some of the stuff that you actually really, really like.
Yeah. So first of all, those Instagram ads are crazy right now. There are so many of them out there. My general rule of thumb with shopping Instagram or Facebook ads is don't buy it.
Yeah, it's not always quality.
Yeah. It's so funny you mentioned that. So I had a client recently who started to upgrade his style and he bought something from an Instagram ad. Of course, it looked amazing in the ad. He got it. It was not up to par. And it was like this whole process to return it. It shipped from China. So don't even buy anything from Instagram ad, first of all. In terms of the items that I recommend you have in your closet, so I definitely recommend, again, you have those basics. So a great fitting t-shirt that you can throw a blazer on top of, or maybe a cardigan. Definitely have some great sweaters. In most of the country right now, it is winter. And so having some lightweight sweaters would be great for your closet as well. And then also you want to have some really comfortable pants. So what I find is that most of my clients are not wearing jeans anymore, but they still want to feel put together, throughout the day and throughout their whole outfit. So some brands that I recommend for all those categories are Vince. Theory has great men and women's product as well. Lululemon does some really great pants for men and women that are not workout pants. So highly recommend checking that brand out as well.
That's great. It's great. It's, one of those things where, you sometimes have to try it on, right? So you want to make sure that it's a reputable brand that then you can ship it back. And it's not an ordeal. Like you said, some of these companies that are out there that are now, now manufacturing yoga pants and all of these other things. It's not the best brand. So that's great to have some brands to try and some rules. I love good rules to be able to, just guide you a little bit. What about color? Let's talk a little bit about color. I love color. I am always telling people, because I do a lot of video calls, media training, and that kind of thing. So I am always telling people to wear colors that make you pop. I know you're a little bit of a minimalist in the color department, so give me the lowdown on that, and then we can talk about video specifically. But just in general, what's your theory on color?
Yeah, so my philosophy on color is you want to have core colors in your closet, and that should make up the majority of your closet. So core colors are gray, white, black, and navy. So the majority of your closet should be those colors because those colors unify pieces in your closet and it allows you to put outfits together easily because at the end of the day, it's all about the complete outfits.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure you have those colors. And then from there, you can start spending money on very strategically colors, bolder prints, and know that those items are going to pair well with black, gray, navy, and white.
So great idea. So to have those core colors first, and then you can build on top of that. So that's sort of you need the foundation first before we go crazy and buy all the colors, all the accessories, all of that. Julia Andrews loves these tips. She says, awesome tips, Cassandra. So that's great. Thank you. And thank you. If anybody has any questions, we have a couple coming through in comments. Feel free to leave them in there. We'll check them out. So that's the deal with color. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about the video call, the video presentations, people creating their own videos. This is something that you and I have worked on together. You have been doing some more media, and which I'm so proud of you for doing and putting yourself out there. But what is your stylist tip on, being in front of the camera, as so many people are now? Who knew that they were going to be video stars?
Right. Yeah. I would say practice. It's all about just practicing and getting out there and putting yourself out there. I know when I first started my video journey, it was a little nerve-wracking, but with tons of practice and your coaching as well, it has helped me to get more comfortable with it. In terms of your style, though, you want to, of course, wear clothing that makes you feel confident and helps you get into the mindset for the video. So again, making sure you have pieces that fit you well, that make you feel confident and make you look put together too.
Yeah. I think that's so important. Often, clients will ask me, it's one of the first questions they ask, okay, well, what should I wear on the interview? I do say, wear bold colors, don't wear too many patterns, nothing that's distracting, because you're the most important part of that interview, right? You want to make sure that it comes across what you're saying and they're not staring at your earrings like, oh, those are interesting. You don't want to be distracting in any way, but you want to be comfortable. You don't want to be messing with things. Just yesterday, I was doing a training and I was wearing a new necklace that I thought would look really nice on camera, and I was sitting there right before the training started, and I couldn't stop messing with it. I was like and I would see it in the thing and I would be moving it. I was like, nope, this has got to go. I pulled it right off and I'm like, this necklace is not going to happen because I'm going to be messing with it too much and I'm going to be distracted and people are going to be distracted. Yeah. So thinking through that too, it's a different world. You want to make sure that you set yourself up for success and that you look really good and, all of that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would also add that the same preparation that you put into getting ready for a video, you should also put into your style, right? Yeah. Like you want to be very intentional about what you're communicating with what you're wearing and plan it out too, so you don't have the necklace situation that you just mentioned happen and you feel confident, ready to go.
Yeah, try it out. You really have to, So we have a question from another Cass, two Casses. Oh, hi. Cass is saying, with more video calls and trainings, I'm a bit concerned about wearing really unique pieces because the rewear is much more obvious. Such a good point. I keep looking back to see when I do this show, I'm like, what shirt did I wear last week? Because I don't want people to think I have one shirt,
Yeah, exactly. That's a great point that Cass brings up and that's why I'm a big proponent of investing in the core colors that I talked about, because you can rewear those pieces over and over and maybe put a pop of color, play with accessories to make them seem different more often versus a bright red blouse that you wear once and people remember it. So again, it's becoming more intentional and strategic about what you're spending your money on so you get more outfits with less stuff in your closet.
Yeah, good point. But also, what about, eventually we will go back out into the world. We won't just be working from home all the time. Although I will. I love working from home. I'm not going into an office anytime soon. But for those people who are doing both, what are some of those items that they could use now? I mean, you alluded to it a little bit before, but the things that will do double duty, that they'll be able to say, okay, this was a really great investment that I can now take out into the world, and it's not just a work from home outfit.
Yeah. So for women, I would say that one item that comes to mind is, again, a collared shirt. So a long sleeve button down collared shirt. There's a brand, a French brand called Equipment that does silk blouses very, very well. They have a great fit. So highly recommend looking into those. And then on the men's side, I would say, guys, you got to invest in some polos. So either a short sleeve polo or a long sleeve polo, they look great for Zoom. And you can also wear those post-pandemic once you start going out into the world and into your office. So definitely recommend investing in those two items.
Yeah, that's so helpful. And it was Equipment was the name of the
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm going to check that out for sure. But also, you give so many great tips. I follow your blog. I follow you on Instagram. There's a lot that you show from example, right? So, there's a celebrity wearing a certain outfit, or you're able to kind of take that look and teach through that, which I love. It's such a great approach. And you also say to have a style mentor, to have someone that you're looking to kind of emulate. So talk a little bit about that, because I think everyone, your homework is to pick one of these style icons so that you can now do it for your work from home look.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so glad you bring that up, because what I typically find with most people is that they get caught in the weeds. And the weeds are, I can't find the brands that fit me. I feel frustrated. I feel overwhelmed with my closet. All these super negative emotions and feelings. Well, finding a style role model helps you zoom out a bit and gets you to a place mentally where you can actually start to dream a little and have fun with your style, because at the end of the day, style is actually meant to be fun. It's meant to be something that makes you feel good and confident, not something that weighs you down. Mm-hmm. So I highly recommend creating a Pinterest account, going on there for 30 minutes and literally just pinning whatever you're drawn to, whatever you like. No rules, no restrictions, just pin it. And then you will start to see themes that you like or types of garments that you like, and then get to really hone in on what your style is.
I have to ask, who is your style icon? Who's the person you are always and emulating?
I have so many, but one that comes to mind is Victoria Beckham. I appreciate her style because she plays with color very well. So when I do want to wear color, she's a good person to go to for inspiration. Mm-hmm. And I would also say, let me think, there's so many that come to mind. There is a model called Rosie Huntington Wellington, I think her name is, or Whiteley. And she does very classic minimalist style very well for the most part. So I look to her. The other thing I want to mention with style role models is you don't have to have their body type. You don't have to look like them. You just have to admire something about what they are wearing. So that's super important to remember.
I think that's a great tip. And also, I think a lot of times people don't know what their style is, or they don't know what they like. So the exercise of sort of looking towards other people and creating those Pinterest boards and being, start thinking about this is really, really helpful. We have a question from Julia about investment pieces. She's looking to the future here. She wants to know some good investment pieces for spring and summer, since, most people are in the winter right now. So she's like, give me something I can dream about.
Yeah, I would recommend for spring, summer. A lot of my clients right now are really loving dresses, and they love dresses because it's one piece. There's no coordination. You throw it on and go. So I recommend investing in a really beautiful classic dress that you can throw pieces on over or dress down with sneakers. And a silk fabrication could be great for summer on those hot days. And then I also recommend investing in a great pair of pants. Pants is one of the categories that most of my clients do not have a good assortment of. They are completely missing pants. And so I check out Lululemon. They have some great pants. Or get a pair of pants that has a fun print or pattern, like a plaid print or a floral print, and have fun with it too.
I like that. I like the idea of having, maybe people aren't seeing the pants on a video call, but you feel like you're doing something a little different, a little bit exciting for yourself in a way. Well, this has been awesome. I've gotten so many great ideas and great tips. I'm going to do the Pinterest thing because I think I don't think through this enough, really. And you have some great tips, obviously, on your Instagram account. So everyone should follow you at Next Level Wardrobe. And you do have a little freebie here, 3 items you need in your closet today at nextlevelwardrobe.com/sign-up. Be specific about the way that you type that in, because we want to make sure that you get where you need to go. I'm going to keep watching your Instagram. You're always doing closet makeovers and really fun, excellent things there. So thanks for doing it. And anyone who's watching who has questions beyond this live broadcast, leave them below. We're going to continue to check on them. We're going to make sure that we're, answering your questions, and more to come. So Cass, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. And thank you all for watching. You can go to paularizzo.com/lists for a bit more from me. And I'll see you next week. If you have any ideas for the show or questions, leave them for me below. And I would love to hear from you. All right. See you soon.